You know, here at Fully Booked and Caffeinated, we love coffee, but there are so many options to choose from in the coffee game. So how can you narrow it down? Well, allow us to help. Afuera Coffee is a company that sources their specialty beans from Central and South America, and the environment is quite literally in every bean. The volcanic soil infuses each coffee bean with vibrant and unique flavors. They have a flavor for everyone based on your personal tastes. Bold espresso for me, smooth light roast for Heather. And that's not all. The best part about Afuera Coffee is the ethical sourcing and sustainable farming practices they use to give you the best coffee while still protecting Mother Earth. And there's more. 5% of all sales are donated back to charities that provide conservation efforts to the great outdoors. If you don't believe me, go to their website, afueracoffee.com, and click on the 5% pledge tab. They have some great info on how much their pledge to charity has already impacted the environment. So check out Afuera Coffee if you're looking for great tasting, vibrant coffee, and you can rest assured knowing that you're contributing not only to your own happiness, but to the environment that we so desperately need to protect. This is an exclusive discount for listeners of our show. Use our promo code to get 15% off any product at afueracoffee.com. That's AFUERA coffee.com. Use promo code CAFFPOD, CAFFPOD. Again, that's afueracoffee.com, promo code CAFFPOD for 15% off sustainable and ethically sourced coffee. Welcome to your favorite bookish podcast, Fully Booked and Caffeinated. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Heather.
And today we have another book-to-movie adaptation. We will be discussing and reviewing Fight Club. As usual, let's talk about our fuel for this discussion. What are you drinking, Heather?
Well, right now I have a lemon lime Olipop, which I actually really like. Is it Olipop or Olipop? I think it's Olipop, right?
I think Olipop sounds more fun.
Yeah, when we went to Marshall's over the weekend and they had like a 4-pack on clearance, and I was like, let me take these and try them.
Yeah, okay.
And they're pretty good. But we went to a new new to me, not new to you, coffee shop yesterday. And I had a very delicious latte with marshmallow cold foam. And I'm still thinking about that cold foam. It was very good.
I love that. Really good. I do wish they still had their toffee coffee.
I do too.
With the marshmallow cold foam.
Mm-hmm. That would have been tasty.
I'm just going to start commenting on their shit and being like, bring back the toffee. And they'll probably do it because they're receptive.
They are.
I got a vanilla latte with vanilla cold foam. And it was boring but delicious. Their coffee is really good.
No, I was pleasantly surprised. It was strong too.
I feel like next time I want to just get an iced coffee and try their regular coffee. That never crosses my mind anymore because I just always get a latte.
Me too.
But I'm going to try that next time because I could get a iced coffee with cold foam.
Yeah. Of course you could.
Yeah, so that was at Turtle Beans in Bordentown, and it was delicious. Expensive, but delicious.
Yeah, but I think worth it.
Yeah, I think worth it, and also I love that place, the vibes,
the
people,
vibes, the area it's in, and Bordentown is really such a cute little area.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back, just walk around.
Yeah, and the way they source their coffee and all that stuff. I don't mind supporting them.
Agreed.
All right, well, cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, so this was my first time seeing Fight Club. Not really my kind of movie. A bunch of dudes flexing their masculinity on each other. But, alas, I picked it, and here we are. It came out in 1999. The director is David Fincher, who also directed a bunch of great movies.
I love David Fincher. I went a while ago when I was in my film era. I went down a David Fincher rabbit hole, and I watched a bunch of his movies.
Okay, the most notable to me were, he loves Brad Pitt, first of all, but Seven, Gone Girl, Zodiac, Social Network, Panic Room. No one talks about Panic Room. That was such a good movie.
Yep.
And this cast, Edward Norton, Brad Pitt, and Helena Bonham Carter, Helena Bonham Carter. Also, Jared Leto is randomly
Why
in there.
is he's in the most random movies? Because, like, he's also in American Psycho.
Okay, I did know this, and I don't remember
Mhm.
seeing him in it, but I did look him up recently because I watched Urban Legend, which he's also in.
Like, he pops up in the most random movies. And I was
He
like,
really does.
when I saw his name pop up on, like, the credits in the beginning, I was like, Jared Leto's in this?
I also didn't realize it was him.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Little
like,
bleached out blonde boy.
Yeah.
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
Freaking love Meatloaf.
I was shocked at this cast.
It's a good cast.
I was also struck by how Helena Bonham Carter and Brad Pitt look exactly the same. Not only have they not aged, but they also looked older than they were in 1999 because they were both in like their earlier mid-30s. And she specifically looks older than that, but in like a 90s way. You know what I mean?
I agree.
All right, so some stats. IMDb, 8.8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, 80% from critics and 96% from users.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally hard for them to pitch because executives thought that there'd be no market for it, which is surprising since you would think a movie about a bunch of white dudes would do well. But because of the violence, they feared it wouldn't appeal to a female audience, which makes sense because like women are huge consumers. Men aren't going to the movies by themselves. They want to bring their girl on a date. And like, she's not going to want to go see fucking Fight Club. I'm surprised that they named it that, actually. But anyway, it ended up becoming a cult classic and has been revisited in the media. The budget was originally supposed to be $23 million, but David Fincher's vision pushed it to $65 million.
Oh, damn.
More than double.
Yeah.
It was a theatrical failure, only making 37 in the US and 63 internationally, but it had a hugely successful home video release. So it eventually did turn a profit. It is based on the book by Chuck Palahniuk. I looked that up, which came out in 1996, and that was his debut novel.
Oh, I didn't know that was his debut.
Yeah. And then it was turned into this wildly popular, famous movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's our movie description. I didn't read this. It's very funny. Okay. Mischief, mayhem, soap. A ticking time bomb insomniac and a slippery soap salesman channel primal male aggression into a shocking new form of therapy. Their concept catches on, with underground fight clubs forming in every town until an eccentric gets in the way and ignites an out-of-control spiral toward oblivion. Soap. Wow.
Soap.
Okay. So, before we get into the plot, let's take a quick ad break.
Here at Fully Booked and Caffeinated, Kelsey and I love a good strong coffee. But sometimes you just need a coffee to take the edge off and not keep you up all night, or maybe you're cutting back on your caffeine intake without sacrificing the flavor. Well, that's where Savorista Coffee comes in. Savorista Coffee offers premium craft decaf and half-calf blends that are small batch roasted for exceptional taste, with ethically sourced beans, natural decaffeination, and bold flavors, such as the Colombian Inspiration Decaf with chocolate, caramel, citrus, and fruit notes, or the Barely Buzzed Half Calf with dark chocolate, toasted marshmallows, and walnuts, which is directly going into my shopping cart. Our listeners can enjoy an exclusive discount of 25% off any product with our promo code CAFPOD. So head on over to Savorista.com and be sure to put in that promo code during checkout. Again, that's Savorista, Savorista.com, promo code CAFPOD, to try out what customers rave to be the best decaf coffee they've ever tried.
And we're back.
We're back. And scene.
And we went through a lot while we were gone. So we open with a dude with a gun in his mouth. So apparently this movie is about more than just fighting. And that was my first thought. Our main character can't sleep. So weirdly, his doctor leads him to support group style meetings because he's like stop complaining. There are men without testicles in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the first meeting he tries is like an AA meeting, but it's for dudes with testicular cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And that night, he finally sleeps. So he gets addicted to these types of meetings. And holy shit, before the internet was relevant, you could find a meeting for everything.
Yep.
And somehow, someone else has the very same weird addiction / lie. And here's where we meet Marla. He's having a hard time because he can't fully embrace the meetings when there's someone there who knows he's a fraud.
Mm-hmm.
And so he confronts her and they decide to split the nights. Which is so funny because he's like, well, obviously I get the testicular cancer meeting. And she's like, why is that obvious? Yeah. And then she's just like smoking cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
What was the meeting? Was it tuberculosis? She's like, oh yeah, my smoking doesn't go over well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so he travels a lot for his white collar job, which he hates. But he meets Tyler, aka Brad Pitt, on a plane on one of his many business trips. And when he gets home from that business trip, he goes home to his condo to find that it exploded.
Mm-hmm.
Like, spontaneously combusted from the 15th floor.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely wild. So he calls Tyler, who he met literally one time on a plane, and they get drunk and he asks to stay with him after some coercion. And it turns out that Tyler is the worst man alive. He works as a waiter and sabotages the food. He pees in the lobster bisque, which I know that we personally find offensive.
Yes.
I fucking love lobster bisque.
I also love lobster bisque.
Ugh. He slips naked photos into children's movies where he works as a projector switcher.
That makes me laugh.
And he steals fat from a liposuction clinic to make
soap.
It's all coming back to the soap.
He's like, we're selling these women back their asses.
Which, like, yes, but also, ew.
Mm-hmm.
But on their first night together, he asks our main character to hit him as hard as he can. And he whips out the saddest, scrawniest punch I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Then they just start kicking the shit out of each other in the bar parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
And they go back to Tyler's house, which is
dilapidated.
A house that should have been condemned.
I can't even imagine the amount of mold that resides in that house.
When I tell you, it actually gave me anxiety watching this when I saw how dirty their bathroom was.
Yep.
Oh my God. And the water was coming out. Ugh. Oh my God. It was so bad.
Yeah.
It's triggering. But they're having a great time.
Of course.
They're living it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As they grow closer, strangely, Marla comes back into the picture and starts sleeping with Tyler, which really bothers our narrator, not because he likes her, or he won't admit that he does, but because she's mentally unstable. It's like,
which I'm like, bro, take a look in the mirror.
Exactly. It's unclear why he hates her so much.
Yeah.
And exactly to your point, it seems like she's a mirror for everything he doesn't like about himself.
Yeah.
So Tyler and our narrator start a tradition of fighting in the bar parking lot every Saturday, and soon people are joining them. And they start a fight club in the basement of the bar. And these are the rules. Now, as someone who had never seen Fight Club, I knew rule 1 and 2. Everyone does. And we are breaking rules 1 and 2 right now. But I didn't know that there were 8 rules. So we're going to talk about all 8. Rule 1 and 2 are both never talk about Fight Club. Although everyone does. Yeah. Literally everyone in this fucking movie. Rule number 3, if someone taps out or yells stop, the fight is over. That's a good rule. We like that. Number 4, 2 guys to a fight. Okay. 5, only 1 fight at a time. That makes sense because they need to all be cheering and circling and chanting. Rule number 6, no shirts and no shoes. This is literally just so Brad Pitt can have his shirt off. And I'm not mad about that either. Number 7, fights will go on as long as they have to. This is an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
And number 8, if it's your first night, you have to fight.
I like that one.
I like this too.
It's like an initiation.
Exactly. And it's that kind of, like, when you're committing a crime and like everyone has to touch the evidence because now we're all in it together.
Yes.
It's that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So their mindset is feel the pain. And that's why they're all fighting. We'll get back to it. So Tyler becomes this misguided, fucked up guardian angel, basically forcing other men to, quote, fix themselves. He holds a random deli worker hostage with a gun and tells him if he doesn't go back to veterinary school, he's going to come to his house and kill him. He forces our narrator to admit that he's not truly free and then crashes the car to show that he shouldn't be afraid to die. And he has this quote, "It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything."
Mm-hmm.
And in the context of this movie, it's very fucked up. But in the context of life, I like this quote because it's so true that you're only willing to do some of the things you want when you have nothing to lose.
So I remember back in my youth, I had a Zanga. Do you remember Zangas? Yeah.
Yeah, I had one too.
I had, and mine was specifically a quote blog, Zanga.
Love.
And I would take a lot of movie quotes, book quotes, celebrity quotes, and Chuck Palahniuk, he is a phenomenal author because he has some very introspective quotes. Because this quote is from his book, so it's not. I'm 98% sure it's from the book.
Okay,
so like I remember coming across a lot of, and he's such like a quirky writer, and so like I remember I've come across a lot of his, a lot of excerpts from like his books, and so
I love that. Okay, I have a couple of his books, but I haven't read them.
I've actually never read any of them either, but I've always like wanted to, because, and I looked it up. This book is like less than 300 pages.
Oh, really?
It's very small.
Wow. Okay, I might actually read it.
I know. I was thinking about it too.
I have another book by him, but it's a horror book that I got at the library sale, so I might have to read that this summer. Anyway, so yes, I do love this quote. I feel like I could definitely see how, even if I didn't like his books, I would like a lot of these. You know what I mean? Like I'd have a lot to highlight.
Yeah, there were a couple of quotes throughout the movie that I thought were like really, really good.
So, to no one's surprise, Tyler starts a cult and recruits his Fight Club weirdos. They have to do extreme things to get accepted. There's hazing. They all move into this dilapidated house. They sleep on bunk beds. And as a group, they start vandalizing and attacking people to the point that one of their own gets killed. Poor Bob.
His
So
man
sad.
titties.
With his enormous boobs.
They're big. I forgot about
just
that.
Worn a bra.
I totally forgot about that part of the movie. And I was like, oh wait. How did I forget the man titties?
Yeah, just huge titties. So, God, I feel like I was going to start getting like TikTok ads for those, jelly bras. Anyway, so our narrator is getting more and more frustrated and also jealous because he's being left out of club activities now. They're all harping on about Project Mayhem and he knows nothing about it. And then when he goes to ask about it, they're like, oh, first rule is
don't talk about Project Mayhem.
Don't talk about Project Mayhem.
Or don't ask questions about Project Mayhem.
Around this time, Tyler goes missing. And our narrator flies around the country searching for him. Turns out Tyler has been opening fight clubs around the country. But when our narrator walks into one of the bars and a random dude is calling him sir and says his name is Tyler, we realize there was no Brad Pitt at all. Our narrator was Tyler all along. And Brad Pitt Tyler was his imaginary friend. that his insomniac mind created. He's been fighting himself, talking to himself, having sex with Marla. He's the one who started all the fight clubs, and he also blew up his own house.
Yep.
Once he realizes all this, he comes to the conclusion that Marla is in danger because he's been confiding in her, and the group thinks that she knows too much.
Mm-hmm.
So real Tyler goes to the cops to confess and turn himself in. But of course, the cops are also fight clubbers. The ultimate plan is for the group to bomb all of the major credit card companies in order to take down consumerist society.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is that if the buildings are destroyed, the debt records will also be destroyed, which will free people from their financial burdens and allow them to pursue their true dreams and goals, thereby becoming their true, authentic selves.
Mm-hmm.
A world before internet backup.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I was like, you couldn't do that now.
Oh, absolutely not. It's all in the cloud, baby.
In the 90s, probably.
Yeah. And like, I'm sure the credit card companies would be able to find this somehow.
Yes,
but anyway, that's besides the point. So this brings us back to our opening scene where real Tyler has a gun in his mouth held by Brad Pitt Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole trippy conversation where real Tyler has to convince himself that he's actually the one holding the gun.
Yeah.
And he finally gets rid of Brad Pitt Tyler by shooting himself in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But not dying.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have no idea why.
Yeah, I don't either.
And he just has like a hole coming out of the back of his neck.
Mm-hmm.
This is not how anatomy works, but sure. Brad Pitt is finally dead. And as real Tyler meets with Marla, the buildings around them start to collapse from the bombs he created. And he tells Marla, "You met me at a very strange time in my life." Which is like the understatement of the century.
Yeah. But they're like kind of perfect for each other because they're both fucking weird as shit.
100%. All right, before we get into our discussion, let's take another quick ad break.
If you've been a long-time listener of the pod, you know Kelsey and I are all about pop culture and the entertainment industry, and if you happen to be looking for a one-place stop to shop for officially licensed merchandise, we've got the place for you. Old Glory is the ultimate destination to shop, offering over 300,000 items for music, sports, entertainment, and pop culture fans. This family-owned superstore has provided high-quality clothing and accessories since 1969, featuring the world's most iconic bands, sports teams, fan-favorite apparel, and quirky gifts, which means there's truly something for everyone. With free standard shipping and same-day order processing, Old Glory delivers fast and reliable service with every purchase. So whether you are shopping for yourself or looking for that perfect gift, Old Glory is your one-stop shop for iconic, high-quality merch, and our lucky listeners will receive an exclusive 15% off any product with the promo code CAFPOD. So head on over to oldglory.com to begin shopping their wide range of high-quality merchandise and get that exclusive discount. Again, that's Old Glory, OLDGLORY.com, promo code CAFPOD.
And we're back. Let's talk about the twist.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, real Tyler is using fake Tyler for quite a few reasons. Fake Tyler is the ideal man, which is why he's hot and has a hot body.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that one part where they're on the subway and there's a picture of like a Calvin Klein model. And he says to fake Tyler, like, is that what the perfect guy looks like?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, that is literally what Brad Pitt looks like. It allows him to distance himself from Marla so he doesn't have to confront his feelings for her.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a way to distance himself from the responsibility he has to his own unhappiness.
Mm-hmm.
He is obviously working at a job that he hates, but he needed fake Tyler's influence to leave that job and rebel against the norm. And in that way, it's kind of like he's getting rid of the excuse that he always could have done this with his life, and instead he had to wait to meet Tyler.
Yes.
He also needed to be able to attribute all the bad things that happened to someone else. So he's got to distance himself from the brainwashing, the violence, the bombing. And also, real Tyler didn't have a male influence in his life, so fake Tyler becomes that for him, and then they in turn become that for the Fight Clubbers. So what, I know that you've already seen this, you already knew about this twist.
So did you know about the twist before you watched it? Okay.
I mean,
like
it was hinting at that something was going on in real Tyler's brain, yes.
Yeah, so like when I first watched it, I mean, I first watched this movie, gosh, it's like over 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know about the twist. And so watching it for the second time, knowing the twist, it's actually really fun to watch it because now like I know what's coming. And so seeing the parts, like for instance, when they're on the plane, he's like, oh, your briefcase is the same as mine. Or you know, that Tyler and Marla are never in the same room together. Like, you know, it's always like, you know, they're never, it's always, it'll be Marla on screen and then Tyler comes in, or Tyler leaves and Marla comes in. And also like Marla's like, can tell that he has like multiple personalities because obviously at night he's fucking her brains out. And in the morning he's like, why the fuck are you here? So like she clearly knows that like something is going on, but she's avoiding it.
Yeah. Her behavior was definitely what clued me into it because she would say things like, are you kidding me? Like, what do you mean? Implying that, you know.
Yeah. But like, obviously, so when I watched this, all, you know, I didn't catch on. So I was like blown away by the twist when it came up.
I am also surprised that I did not know the twist. How did this never come across my brain hole from 1999?
I know. And it's just so funny. We just watched the scene of him in the parking lot just fucking punching himself. But then there was that scene too when he's in front of his employer and he beats the shit out of himself, and the employer is just like literally in utter and complete shock and does not, he's known all along that we know that his name now obviously is Tyler because like throughout the movie he's just like the narrator, like we don't know his actual name. And so he knows that like Tyler has been kind of going off the walls, but like he didn't know to what extent.
That scene was actually so well done. Like,
I know. Oh no,
the way it was like Liar Liar, you know, when he's being shit at himself.
Like Edward Norton is top tier, like one of my all-time favorite actors. He does so many of Wes Anderson's movies, like, and he was in oh gosh, he was in the Hulk, the original Hulk that came out, but there was another movie that he was in that now I can't remember. Whatever, but I love him. I've always loved him. But like his acting chops in this movie were chef's kiss.
Yeah, that scene was really good and like surprisingly gory and gross and just really well done. When he like went through the table, I was like, oh, this is what we're doing.
And then he went through the bookcase behind him.
Let's go. We're not coming back from this. And then when they come in, he's like, please don't hit me. Please.
And he's like
stop.
blackmails his boss. And I was like, that's a power move, to be quite honest. He's like finally letting like the real Tyler and him come out.
Yes. Yeah. And so I do like that we get, because I didn't realize that Fight Club was not a money enterprise. I thought they'd be like betting on each other fighting like other movies like this. But they do show us how they are able to make money to not work and keep all the fight clubs going and the flights and all this stuff, like because of that. And then fake Tyler is suing the place about the pea lobster bisque and, you know, all types of stuff. So let's talk about Marla. Originally, he rejects everything about her because, as we said, she's a reflection of who he is. But she's also authentic and unapologetic about who she is in a way that he could never be and he aspires to be. And that's part of what draws him to fake Tyler, because he is also so comfortable being himself, but because Tyler is a man, it's more acceptable for him to covet that in a male figure.
It's actually so interesting that you just say that, because like Tyler, the Brad Pitt Tyler persona doesn't appear until he meets Marla. So it's kind of like interesting that maybe like in meeting Marla and seeing that she is like a gives no fucks and like does what she wants, he wishes he could do that. So I think that's actually interesting. now that I think about it, that Tyler popped up after that.
Yeah, I think you're definitely onto something. Like,
Mhm.
because she's mirroring back all of the things that he wishes that he was. Like,
Mhm.
she's very open about, you know, her depression, her shortcomings, her...
She's like, I try to die every day.
And she's like, and who gives a fuck if I'm coming to these meetings? I don't
Yeah.
have to pretend to be 10
Mhm.
different people. And he's frustrated by that because he's jealous of it.
Mhm.
And so, to your point, then he meets Tyler, who allows him to start becoming this way.
Yeah.
But what draws him to Tyler is that he is a man who is so comfortable being himself. And he also clearly has feelings for Marla, but he's holding her at arm's length because he's afraid to commit to her. And so instead, he kind of not degrades her, but talks about her like she's crazy and like she's unstable and all this stuff. And it's like, bro, have you seen the end of this movie? You're the unstable one.
Yeah, I know.
And she is just trying to live and trying to die. And
Trying to fuck.
Trying to eat clam chowder, which they stop her from doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we're going to get into masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
Shocker. So, God, there's like so many aspects to this. The movie starts out with Tyler letting himself cry to cure his insomnia, and turns into a stereotypical ideal of masculinity with the fighting and the violence. So the image of a man who cries is completely negative. Tyler is a liar and a fraud when he's crying, pretending to be someone he's not at these meetings. And they depict Bob Meatloaf as an ugly, overly sensitive loser. But then fake Tyler is cool and influential because he's a badass who likes to fight.
Yep.
So the entire persona of an unmasculine man is associated with crying and emotions and all of this stuff.
Being weak.
Exactly. Yes, so there's this power associated with being masculine and the idea that a real man shouldn't be fucked with or shouldn't be able to express himself or should be able to express himself violently. And obviously I hate that. But basically the message is that society and consumerism, because of these credit card companies, have stripped men of their masculinity and their base instincts. Because I guess the assumption is that cavemen were better off because they didn't have credit cards. That's a whole nother thing. But by telling men that there's this image that they have to conform to, or this job that they have to have, or this life that they have to have, this condo they have to have, this suit they have to wear, all of these things that then they have to spend money on and go into debt and worry about paying their bills. And it's just this endless cycle. And there's also this idea that modern society has stripped the men of their humanity. Because Tyler's job is literally about weighing the pros and cons of people dying versus losing money. And so it's all just so normalized. Like they have that one scene where they're looking at this hollowed out car and everyone's laughing about it. And they're like kind of making jokes about like, oh, that'd be good. Her braces are like slimmed around the gear shift. That'd be a good commercial for dentists or something. And you're like, what the fuck? So it's become so normalized and they're so like immune to it. And I also think there's a message of them losing their humanity during Fight Club, because like during Fight Club, they're supposed to be immune from all of the pressures of society and all of the expectations. But then they're beating each other to a pulp. Real Tyler beats the fuck out of Jared Leto and disfigures him because he says, I wanted to hurt something beautiful. I was like, oh my goodness.
I know when Brad Pitt Tyler was like, he's like, what the fuck was that about? And when he said that, I was like, it just like, you know, because there's that moment before that happens when he like sees fake Tyler kind of like praising him.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's like a moment of jealousy, and it's because Jared Leto's character, obviously, I don't think he's good looking in the movie, but he comes off as like this pretty boy.
The pretty boy, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you know, obviously Tyler wants to be the picture of like what a man should be.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, let me fuck up your face so that you're no longer a pretty boy.
And that's what makes it so fucked up, is because like this Fight Club is supposed to be their safe space, right? This is supposed to be where they can express each other, and at the end of the day still all be brothers and like on the same side. And he clearly abuses his power.
Yeah. And even just like you could see all the other members like knowing that what he is doing is exceeding what they're supposed to do, but nobody's willing to like step in. And that's like another moment in time when you should realize who Tyler is, because he's the leader. And so no one's gonna intervene with the leader of this whole regime.
Yes. And there's a part towards the beginning of the Fight Club where he's fighting and fake Tyler says stop. And he's like, oh, sometimes he would speak for me. So in this time, he didn't want to fucking stop. So fake Tyler wasn't going to speak for him.
Exactly.
So, and also like when Tyler burns his hand with the lie, we're losing this humanity. And there's a blurred line between this violence for release and violence for harm. And that's the fucking problem with using violence as therapy. So Fight Club brings excitement and purpose to their lives. It allows them to feel something. And the same way that we need hobbies to balance out our soul-sucking corporate jobs, they just have to do it by fighting because of masculinity. Which I hate, obviously. Yeah. And I think it's glorified so much in this movie in a way that shocked me.
Yeah, but that's the point.
Yes.
You know,
I was kind of like...
But I understand what you're saying, because it was a lot. Because like I forgot like how much was in there until like obviously, and you know, it gets very like gory. And that was like the same thing, kind of how you said at the top of the episode, how they didn't know how it was, you know, how it was going to be perceived by the audiences, because it is so gory and violently graphic. So I think it is kind of shocking to watch, especially when it's not something, you know, because like you watch a lot of horror and so like you're seeing a lot of like violence and stuff, but it's not, this is such a different lens of looking at it.
Yes. And that's why I feel like the normalizing of it was so off-putting, because like I get that was the whole message, and like what we just talked about of like blurring the lines between that violence not really being as therapeutic as they were trying to portray it. But I was kind of waiting for just like one little thing at the end, like maybe he starts crying, or like maybe a tear runs down his cheek, like something to say that all of that was wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it, and you know, and that's like, I think him, when he realizes who he is the entire time, you can tell he's trying so hard to justify and fix it. And then he's literally made it impossible for him to see the error of his ways, or to like correct the errors that he's done. And like he like literally has no choice, because he has instilled into all of the members that, listen, there might be a time when I'm going to come to you and I'm going to say X, Y, and Z. And they're like, and so like every single person is prepared for that moment when he does come to his senses and he realizes. So like, even though he wants to be Brad Pitt, Tyler Durden, there's still a part of him that has like a morsel of humanity, and even his fucked up version of himself knew that he was eventually going to come back to that, and to plan ahead, brilliant. Literally brilliant.
Yeah. And when he is having that moment where he's figuring out that he was Tyler all along, and he's like, no, that was you. No, that was you. Like, and going through each instance, or, you know, like a few of the incidents where, oh shit, that really was him. And then at the end where he goes and he does disconnect one of the bombs. So it's like, look, I did a little bit to help, but to your point, there's no going back. All of the other bombs are already done.
It's too late. Yeah.
There's such a huge network of men involved in this that there would be no stopping it even if he tried, because he thought ahead, because he has teams at all the different buildings.
And like the unraveling occurs once Tyler disappears, because now that personality of his has done its job. And so now it's just, he has to like, it's like a reckoning now of the decisions that he's made in his alter ego.
Yeah, because then you think about it, where does Tyler go from here?
Nowhere, because he's because they're the same goddamn person. I'm telling you, this blew my mind when I first watched this. I was like literally like flabbergasted. Like completely. All my gasted were flabbers. Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't believe I never heard of this before seeing it. Wild. So, as we said, Tyler started a cult, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And his followers are very passionate about individuality and identity, but individuality as a collective. Like, basically having a common purpose.
Yes.
But being able to be your own person in society.
Yes.
Basically, they're frustrated that we're all basically sheep to society, which, like, yes, we are. That is the nature of humankind, unfortunately. But the issue with Tyler's quest to break free of society's constraints is that he's perpetuating those same ideas with his followers. So he implores them to reject society by, you know, society's telling you what to do, don't listen. But now he's telling them what to do. And this is classic for cults.
Yeah.
And they follow him blindly and religiously under the guise of liberation, but really it's from one prison to another. And it's from one society to a smaller society. And just because, I mean, we see this all the time with cults, just because the people around you believe the same things as you doesn't mean that you're free to think those things, you know?
Exactly.
And I feel like because so much of this like cult idea is rooted in masculinity, and because these men are focused on the violence part or the consumerism part and getting rid of the credit card companies and blah, 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 they're never able to stop and look at the fact that they are being brainwashed, that they are turning into monsters, like that they are violent, and you know they're saying that it's all for the greater good. Why? Is just to get rid of their debt?
Yeah, I will say that a few of like the gripes that people had with the book compared to the film is that the film focuses more on violence than the book did.
Okay.
So the book is like satire. And so it's, you know, and it's about consumerism. That's the whole point of the goddamn book, is like consumerism. And the book doesn't really go in the direction that the movie does. There's still like a cult, but it's not this eccentric or this extreme.
Okay, see, I feel like I would like the book a lot better then.
Yeah. No, people said like the book is really good from what I've heard is when I was reading, but yeah, when it gets to this point, they differ.
Yeah, because I feel like consumerism, yes, is the main point, but it gets so overshadowed by the violence and by fake Tyler being just fucking unhinged. When at the end of the day, like, the message about consumerism is real. Yeah. And like, that is a valid reason to fucking hate society.
Yeah.
So that's actually very interesting that you said that, because I think even me watching it, like, I'm so distracted by
because there's really no end game, truly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the book has an end game.
Yeah, it just feels so...
It's just violence just for violence.
Exactly.
For violence's sake. Mm-hmm.
For Brad Pitt to be there with his shirt off.
Mm-hmm.
Smoking a cigarette.
Yeah. I did love that part though, when he's like fighting the owner of the bar, and he's like, no, I don't understand, or he's like, I can't hear you, and then he's like finally he thinks the owner thinks he won, and then Brad Pitt like just spits all his blood, shakes his blood all over him like he's a dog, and he
he's
was
like, you don't know where I've been.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy.
Yeah. So like, Tyler is very unhinged.
But also, like, whoever directed this movie has obviously never dealt with the mob, because they never would have taken that shit lying down.
No, the guy had a gun.
Yeah,
he could have shot as many people as he wanted.
But sure. Lou needed to.
Yeah,
it would have been funny if Lou started coming to Fight Club after that.
Mm-hmm. I was almost waiting for him to join.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to discuss before we rate this?
Oh my god, one of my. I loved the end when you get the blip of the cock.
I didn't realize that happened, because I was already checked out, but then I was reading about, and I was like, I gotta go back, and I went back.
I cackled because I forgot about that too.
Because otherwise it seems so pointless to have that in here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they do reference back to it at some point, something about like changing the projectors.
Yes.
Like the switch over is Tyler switching to other Tyler.
Yeah.
So it was relevant in that way. But yes, I like that they brought that back.
I like totally. I don't even know that I clocked it the first time I watched it, to be quite honest. I don't know, but I was like, oh, that's, again, just David Fincher is such a brilliant filmmaker. Have you seen Seven?
Yes, I love Seven. That's one of my favorite movies.
Oh my god, like,
that's why I was like, he loves Brad Pitt.
Oh, he does love Brad Pitt. Well, it's the same thing as like Martin Scorsese loves Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon.
And I also feel like Zodiac has a very similar feel to this movie and to Seven. Yeah, I thought, as far as like movie wise, like obviously the production value is great. The acting is amazing.
Yeah.
It's very, very well done. And it has that, I like how it switches between the mundane, like when he's on the plane and he keeps talking about meeting like sample size people or whatever, or single serving people. Yeah. And you really get like everything is just like gray. Even like his skin is gray.
Like he truly hates his life, because you can even see him like at his job, how like, you know, withdrawn and checked out he is.
And just like the comments he makes, like, oh, must be Tuesday, he's wearing his blue tie.
Yeah.
But even so, his speech, the colors of the shots, like all of that just completely goes with that. And then when you switch to the Fight Club stuff, everything is gritty and dark, and even their voices change, their acting changes. Like, I thought it was just extremely well done from a production standpoint. And I was surprised by Marla, because I thought I was going to like her more by the end of this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And instead,
I feel
I'm just like
she kind of just is like almost like a typical stereotype, that she falls for the crazy guy, and she's like willing to go to the end of the world with him.
Yeah, because I was reading something about how, you know, she's so pissed off at him for dragging her into all of this. Like, she just got kidnapped by these fucking cult members, and then she sees that he's hurt, and she like immediately switches into like, oh my god, you know. And at one point I'm like, oh, I'm upset that she didn't have a better arc, but he didn't have a good arc either. No one grows in this movie. No, everyone gets worse.
And I think that's the point too.
Exactly.
You know, but I do like love the scene of her when she has the whole bottle of Xanax, and then like she calls Tyler, like real Tyler, and he's like, I can't handle this. And then like obviously he turns into like his alter ego, and then he goes and gets her, and there's like that whole scene. And I'm just like her acting is also like,
oh, she's incredible.
You know, I just think that she, you know how like there's certain frames of films that are like cult, that are in like the cult like regime of films. The scene of her in her sunglasses smoking the cigarettes. Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction with the bloody nose. You know what I mean?
100%.
And I love the women, like, that they're like the face of it. You know? I love fucked up women characters. I really do.
I mean,
they don't do them like this. They don't really make them like this anymore, to be quite honest.
They don't, because, God, that's a conversation for another day. But the fact that women need to be saved and men need to be doing the saving. And
this is just like two fucked up people getting through a fucked up world together. And there's really no end in sight.
Yes. Okay.
They're just kind of rolling with it every day, knowing that, you know, it's like a, you know, Jack in the Box kind of thing. Like, it's just, you don't know when it's going to pop. You don't know what's going to happen. You're just kind of just going with it.
And that's such a good point about the ending of this movie, because like we said, where does he go from here? The whole point is like, there was this huge elaborate plan. This is why he had this fucking cult of people. This is why he, you know, started all this to begin with, was to accomplish this goal of bombing these credit card companies, right? And now what? Now is his life fixed? Is everything that he's upset about fixed just because he got rid of these credit card companies? Of course not.
No, and realistically, what was his goal?
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
It's just like I think he's just so fed up with his life and what it looked like, and so he went to like this extreme in his mind when he was dissociating, you know, and he just like creates mayhem. But then, like, he kind of realizes, all right, well, I did it. Bye.
Yeah. And it's such a, like, obviously the complete opposite of what he was doing with his mundane job. And and he just goes from 0 to 100 the second he meets Tyler, because he is Tyler. But it really is fascinating, because we do expect movies to have that kind of like, not even necessarily a happy ending, but an ending.
Yeah.
And this is just so depressing.
And
that's the whole fucking point.
Which is their lives. That's the whole point. They're both Marla and Tyler are both severely depressed characters that have no goals in life. They're not going anywhere. Like, Marla is stealing the entire film. You know, she's living in a rundown apartment. And Tyler had an amazing place. He had IKEA furniture, like he had belongings, and he blows it up and then lives in a dilapidated place because that's who he is. It's almost like he's living in a place that's a reflection of how he feels inside.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And I think there's also a message in here about mental illness and channeling it.
Yes.
Because the fact that he had a mental illness didn't stop him from accomplishing things.
No, he was very smart.
Him from accomplishing what he should have accomplished.
No,
if he had
a
channeled
brilliant mind, like, look at what he did.
Look at the cons. Look at the. I mean, he became a freaking cult leader. You don't do that, but you know, on accident. So it's that message of like, okay, if he had just channeled this into something positive and into what he said outwardly that he was doing, like trying to explore identity and explore his own passions, et cetera, et cetera. If he had actually done that, he would have been wildly successful.
Yes.
But instead, so many people were hurt and he just became more and more depressed. And then he found someone else who now is feeding off of his depression, and she'll never get help either.
No, they're enabling each other.
Exactly. Wow. This is so dark. I'm liking it more after we're talking about it.
I love
when I
this
tell you I
movie
did
so
not
much.
like this fucking movie.
I love this movie so much.
God.
I liked it even more the second time that I watched it.
I could have lived my whole life never seeing it, but I'm glad I did see it, perhaps. Okay. So our rating scale today is bars of soap. I actually didn't think soap was that big of a deal, but after reading the summary and realizing that I picked this for our rating scale, I guess soap is the whole fucking movie.
I guess like the whole point of this too is showing that he, like we said, was very brilliant, and there was this scientific part of his mind when he was his alter ego that was doing insane things, creating
such a good
bombs,
point. Yep.
you know? So it's like this, like the soap was such a huge part of his bad parts.
Yeah, because like at his job, he's basically a fucking minion doing this horrible work and just traveling, being his boss's bitch. And in reality, he's capable of doing
so much more. Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't even think about all of this that way, but it's so true. Mm-hmm. All right, so how many bars of soap did you rate this movie?
8 bars of soap.
Okay.
It really still holds up. I think this is definitely like a top tier movie for me. Like, based on like production and acting alone, you know, I can't imagine anyone else playing any of these characters, to be quite honest.
No.
You know, like Edward Norton is just such a brilliant actor. Mm-hmm. And the way that he portrays so many different versions of himself throughout this movie, because like I feel like he's never the same person twice.
Mm-hmm. It's just like the one who's in Split.
Oh, James McAvoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who's also another amazing actor. I love
incredible
him too.
actor, yeah.
You know, and it's just like I agree the violence, like that's not my cup of tea. Like some of it went a little over my head, I would probably admit. Like the masculinity stuff. So like I didn't like love all that. But I loved the idea of the story. I loved where it went. I loved that Tyler Durden was him, that they were the same person all along. Like it's just, you really just see the inner workings of someone that has like multiple personalities and like disassociates and becomes someone new. And like it's scary, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
it's actually really scary that people who suffer from these mental illnesses in real life, and that this is what they could become. And
okay, that's actually another thing that I didn't even think about until right now, the fact that he is literally a product of our shitty medical system, because he went for help and that doctor was like, dude, you don't even have it that bad.
Yes.
And
he like literally pushed him to become Tyler, the version of Tyler that he does eventually become, because no one listens to him.
Exactly. And he turned him away when all of this, like this dude could have been medicated and all of this could have
like
been avoided.
Me sleep medicine, like give me medicine. Yeah. He's like, I just want to fucking sleep. It's not like he's asking for drugs to get high. He's asking for medication to be able to rejuvenate his soul.
Listen, and as a girly who takes sleeping pills.
No, literally.
I could not survive without them, okay? So and like, I would go to every doctor.
Like, how can we not expect him to become who he becomes when he's like a raging insomniac that is not able to get the help that he's seeking?
Yeah. Wow. That's something I didn't really think about, but is so obvious, so glaringly obvious, that all of this could have been avoided if, you know, intervention happened.
And it's like, that's the thing with like mental illness in like our current society, is that it's not believed, you know, and people go through their entire lives without being properly medicated or properly diagnosed. And then terrible things like this happen. I mean,
we have a friend who is going through a struggle like this and, you know, telling her doctor all these issues that she's having and begging for help, a diagnosis, a second opinion, and just being constantly turned away. And it's like, thank God that you
have to advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
But not everyone can.
Exactly.
And I think that a lot of the times it's the people that are unable to get the health care that they need or the proper professional help that they need because they don't have access to it.
Yeah, there's people who don't have access to multiple doctors. They don't have, access to good doctors because of location or rural areas or transportation. And there's, people who are underrepresented, like people of color in the medical fields completely.
Yeah.
And, women not getting the recognition medically that they deserve. So,
listen, I know you don't watch The Pit yet, but I'm going to turn you into a Pit fan. Trust me. In the first season, there was an episode that really stuck out to me, and it was a Black woman who had an eating disorder. So she was bulimic, and she had never admitted it. And so the doctors are finally able to get her to admit that she has a problem. And there's we have so many specialists that can help you. Are you willing to seek help? And she strictly asks for a Black woman to help her. And I'm like, I get chills just thinking about it. You know what I mean? It's just because she's probably done this her whole life because she knows she's not going to be properly recognized. And that's so fucked up that we still live in a world where people don't feel comfortable going to see medical professionals because they're not going to see someone that looks like them.
It's so true.
I hate it so much. I hate everything so much.
I know. And it's such a hard thing, especially because even people who can advocate for themselves doing it and still getting nothing out of it. It's the way that medical care in this country hurts so many more people than it will ever help.
Yep.
I mean, look at fucking veterans, look at pregnant women, look at Black women specifically.
I would say, look at Black
it's
pregnant
horrific.
women.
It's horrific.
Yep.
Wow. Fucking Brad Pitt, man.
It's all his fault.
It's all his fault. He looked so hot, though.
He did.
With those terrible frosted tips and those pink sunglasses. God, he plays an asshole so well.
He does.
All right. I rated this 4.5 bars of soap. I didn't like it very much. I loved the acting. We already talked about that. I loved the whole production value. I think it's an amazing movie. The twist was really cool. But I personally don't think that these messages about masculinity are healthy in our current society, especially with people like Andrew fucking Tate.
Well, that's the thing. I think that if this movie came out for the first time in our current climate, I would fucking hate it.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm acknowledging that if I had seen
in the
2000s,
so that the first time that you're watching this movie and experiencing it firsthand, I have already seen it. I've seen it, over 10 years ago. So you're experiencing in a time where violence and masculinity is giving everyone fucking hard-ons. So it's it's so different now, I think. And also I think, when I did the deeper dive into the book, into the movie, and knowing that it was satire, and it's kind of the author and the director are making fun of these men that think that violence is the answer, and that you know what I mean. And so, but I can completely understand,
and that's how we can discuss it as adults. But it's if a 15-year-old is watching this movie. And they're obviously not seeing it as satire. They're seeing it as glorified.
Exactly.
Look at how fucking badass Brad Pitt looks.
Yep.
Look at how there's no fucking women in this movie except a crazy person.
And that's what's so interesting about the movie industry as a whole, is because movies that were created years ago, you don't know the kind of what people are going to view it as 20 years from now.
Yes.
This came out in 99, it's almost 30 years old.
And you also don't know, obviously, the cultural impact. They didn't even think that this movie was going to do well. And the fact that people are still raving about it, everyone I mentioned it to was oh my God, Fight Club. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's one of those must-see movies.
Yeah.
And in that way, I kind of wish that I did see it when I was younger, to get that kind of so that I could just see it for a movie. You know what I mean?
Because I think I can completely understand where you're coming from. Because when you had mentioned yesterday that you I could tell that you didn't like it, and I was like, oh wow. And then I watched it, And then I was like, oh, I can understand why. And because I know how you feel about all those things. But I'm like, obviously when I watched it, it was a fucking masterpiece in my mind. The first time I ever watched that movie. And even watching it back, I'm like, no, this movie still stands as like one of the best movies I've seen because of the messaging and just like how well it was done. But when I flip the coin, I see it from your point of view in these current times, watching it for the first time. Yeah, no, that's not great. Not great.
Yeah, and it just feels so dangerous for all of the reasons that we talked about.
Yeah. It
but
sucks
also,
that like this is now that this movie is what it fucking looks like now. Not completely, obviously, but like that men are just feeling self-righteous and that they can do whatever the fuck they want and women don't matter.
Yeah, and there was like a bunch of, when I was looking up, like researching for this and stuff, a bunch of reviews where they're like, oh, the whole point of the movie is that they were able to express their masculinity because society was telling them that masculinity is bad. And I was like, in what fucking universe are
like
we not glorifying masculinity? Because
and that's
I never heard of it.
And like that's the person that's not understanding the movie.
That's a fucking man writing it, obviously.
Yeah, that's, exactly. Because that's obviously the exact opposite of what it is and what it was supposed to be.
And I think, obviously being women and just like realizing that masculinity is always glorified, is always, I don't care about your fucking white collar job, your soul sucking corporate job. Masculinity is still God,
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I have such mixed feelings about it because I do love all of the things that we can discuss about it. And I do see why it is a cult classic for sure. I just worry about the fact that some people just watch movies to watch movies, and then those subliminal messages pierce into their brain holes.
I agree 1,000%.
And then they're going to be out there trying to bomb Visa, and then Visa's going to be like, we have all of our stuff in the cloud. Why did you bomb us?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, anything else?
No.
Well, that's all we have for you today. If you like what you heard, please make sure to follow, subscribe, and rate and review the podcast on whatever platform you're listening on. If you have any book recommendations or questions for us, you can email us at fullybookedcalfpod@gmail.com. Also, be sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at fullybookedcalfpod to see our upcoming reads. Thanks for checking us out, and remember,
if you need us, we're fully booked.
Bye.
Bye.